Hello, everyone. I would like you to introduce Sai. Sai, right?
Yeah, you can call me Sai. Thank you so much, Raven. It's an honor to be here. And what I would like to start with is I really love the firm from the day one when I've started. So yeah, kudos to you on building such a good firm.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Before we go deep dive into your trading style, tell us a bit of your background, how you got started in trading, how old were you when you got started in trading, and all that.
So basically, I started trading 4.5 years ago, and right now, currently, I'm 22. I started when I was about to turn 18 or 17 and a half, something like that. And I basically belong from India. So the background was really that I'm basically a mass communication student, and I started out in markets just after the COVID crash. When everyone was getting into the trend of stock markets and crypto, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that stuff. And that is when I really got into trading and started my journey. So it's been a good 4.5 years, rough patches, lean patches, good parts, all the stuff combined. But that's how basically I got into trading the Indian markets and the cryptos.
Okay, so when did you find out about prop firms during
I
your
found
journey?
out about prop firms in the year 2022, right? So
Yes.
that is when one of the first prop firms really started out. They started pushing their ads in India, and that is when I knew about the other prop firms, and that is when I started to know that people give you the capital for a fee you pay, and you can really make use of it because over here in the Indian markets, you really need a good capital to make money out of it. You cannot really trade with, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000. You need to have
Hmm.
at least 10, 15, $20,000 to start off with, right? And that kind of money is very tough for a 17-year-old, right? It's not that easy. So I got to know about prop firms in 2022, and that's when I really started to feel that if I could pay a fraction of the money that I have in fees and get payouts from it, that's a good way to start my trading journey.
Okay, that sounds good. Before you started prop firms, were you still just studying, or were you using live personal accounts to trade?
So I got into social media very early in my life, and I showed up my skills, and I got a few clients as well to trade capital on their money basically. So before going into crop firms, I was trading on personal capital and clients fund in the Indian markets. And when I really got to know about prop firms, I stopped fund management and stuff like that and completely got into prop firms. But for the beginning part, I started with personal capital and client funds.
Did you blow a lot of accounts at the start? When do you start seeing profitability or seeing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel?
It's
That's
it's it's
that's
really 2023 to be honest,
yeah,
because it's there's a saying, right? Until you get your first payout, everything seems like a scam. You never really know what's going to happen, right? Because
yeah.
you don't know if the prop firm is going to pay. You don't know if this is really
Hmm.
going to happen or not. Because it's all like a dream, right? You never know if you can make money out of thin air by paying $50, $100, or $200. So 2023 was the year. Later 2023, November, December was when I started getting payouts, and I saw that okay, and this is really I can do about it. I can go about it full time, and I can invest my time. And that is when I really saw that okay, this thing can be done, and I started making money from 2023 December, some point that year. So till then, from there till now, I have had somewhere around $6,000-7,000 in payouts, not more than that. But the goal is to keep following the process so that I end up in a bigger place.
So when you first started trading, were you blowing a lot of accounts, or were you disciplined from the start?
No, no, no. I was blowing because I always thought of the payouts whenever I bought an account, and
Hmm.
it did not take me much time to realize that it's the wrong process. Right? You cannot really think about payouts when you buy an account. You're buying the account only to achieve the target. If you get paid, that's very good. If you don't get paid, okay, good job, and move on. So I blew a lot of 100Ks in the starting. I always thought big accounts means big money. And I bought a lot of 100Ks, I bought a lot of 50Ks, and I blew up a lot of money. So I wasn't really disciplined until 1.5 year ago, to be really honest. I was very all over the place that, oh, 8% target, let me get it in a single shot. NFP, let's get it done. CPI, let's
Mhm.
get it done. That was my mindset 2 years ago.
When you're trading, you're blowing a lot of accounts until a year and a half ago. You're like, this is it. I'm done over trading. I'm done. I gotta be disciplined. What did you do to change to become
I think
profitable?
fix my lifestyle. That is the best thing that I could do, right? And at one point, a trader realizes that it's not going to work the way you were trading. You wake up, you buy, you see number of charts, you're there on the screen, FOMOing and revenge trading. It's a self realization. Really, nobody comes and tells you that this has to be done. Realization that you get that it's done, it's now or never. So you have to change the way whatever you were doing previously, you have to change it right now.
Hmm.
And that is
So
that was like a turning point for me when I realized from within that it's done.
so what lifestyle did you change or altered a bit to get to where you are? Did you start like making a trading plan and actually following the rules and waking up the same time every day? What was your routine that changed
So
your
what I
ways?
changed really was my mindset and what I was doing throughout the day. Right? Let's say when you wake up first, you need to have a feeling of abundance. So I got into journaling, and then I got into workouts, and then I got into stuff like creating content. So something to discipline myself, right? Only when you understand that your brain is it's a very primitive mind. We are all chimpanzees by nature, right? So you need to get that chimpanzee brain out of your actual mind and be like a think like a rational. So what are the lifestyle changes to do that? It's waking up at the same time every single day, going up to screens only at after a certain time. Let's say I wake up at 8 a.m. in India, right? So I don't take any trades until 11:30 a.m., which is the London Open, right? So I make sure that I am only starting my journey from the London Open and carrying it from there rather than waking up every single day and just FOMOing, seeing gold, how it is moving, what Trump said, and buying, selling, doing all that. So when you put certain restrictions on yourselves, that is where you stop losing the cheap money, right? You save your marbles. You really have the capital to utilize in the good sessions like London session or the New York session. These changes had to be made in order to at least see a brink of, a slight hope of profitability.
So over the span of 4 years, did your trading style change as well until you became profitable, or did you and trading the same pairs, or were you just like all in about until you just figured out your pair to trade?
So I started with n number of pairs, all majors, minors, indices, metals, every single thing. I have boiled it down to NQ, Nasdaq, and sometimes Euro Gold, but Nasdaq mostly. So I figured out that according to what is good to me, right? What is good according to my mindset and what is good according to uh, my personality or character, right? So I figured out NQ is relatable to whatever I do, my character, my personality, and that is where I have settled it down to right now. That I will just trade NQ and I will just trade, these particular sessions.
So when you trade before, what was the difference between before you're not profitable and after with your emotions, whether you're winning or losing during a trade?
It's process. I don't really. I have stopped really thinking about accounts, about uh, how much drawdown I am in, how much profit I am in. So basically, what happens is a lot of people think that if a trader is not making money, he's a bad trader, right? But that is not really the truth. It can all change in a single month. A guy who did not make any money till last month can make $10,000 the next month, and you will start looking up to him. What changes? Nothing. It's the mindset. So before, what really used to happen was I used to focus a lot on my losses. I used to be stuck. Oh, I lost an account. It's really tough. I have to recover from it and stuff like that. Right now, it's a process. I lose an account. It's fine. What did I do wrong? Did I over risk? So you need to be in a feedback loop. I did wrong. Let's get that fixed. Right. if you go into a feedback loop, if you follow a process, to be honest, once you know that you have done it and you can do it again, you start avoiding the negative things, right? And you start focusing on the positives. That is what I try to do every single day. Remember how I got payouts, remember what I did, and try to replicate the same in every single account.
Yes. So it's normal for everyone, after taking a loss, people have the urge to trade again. How are you able to manage that? Because as humans, we tend to like click the button a lot after a loss to regain what we lost, right? Thinking that we can just get it back right away. How do you deal with that situation right now as a profitable trader?
So once you understand, it's your chimpanzee brain,
A
where
chimpanzee.
you feel that you know. So what happens is when you lose, you feel you're dying, right? That is how primitives live, right? But it's 2025. You're not dying. Nothing's gonna happen. You need to get these facts inside your body to feel that it's fine. I'm still at my desk. It's a loss. I can recover it any single day. Once you understand this fact truly, that is where you actually stop taking revenge trades. The urge to take a trade and make it all back again, that is where it stops. When you know that you can do it tomorrow and day after tomorrow as well. Obviously, even after understanding these facts, we still fail, right? But at least you understand this fact so much that you fail less and you win often, right? So if you understand that nothing's gonna happen if you lose and you don't have to make it all back in a single day, you think on the longer picture that what about the next 1,000 trades, or how is the law of large numbers going to turn out in my favor. So if you understand these facts, only then you can act upon it. Otherwise, you really cannot just say that, okay, I won't do revenge trading. That's a very cliched way of behaving, right? Writing in a journal, I won't do revenge trading. It's not going to work. You need to understand why you don't want to do revenge trading. Why? Because tomorrow you can make money out of it. So if you understand this, you won't do revenge trading. But if you do not understand this, obviously you're a fool lost in the markets. You will keep coming back. You will do revenge trading, and you will run out of money.
So, how do you approach risk management and position sizing? Do you usually keep the same sizing
So I
in your
risk one
position?
percent on every single trade, and that's the max I do. I don't want to do more than that, because after trading for 4.5 years, and after being in the prop industry for so long, you also understand what is good for the prop firm, right? You also think not as a trader, but as a person who's in collaboration with the prop firm. So you understand, if I make 4%, if I take a 4% trade risk and I make 10%, they will pay me once, they will pay me twice, but it's not really sustainable for the firm as well. Once you understand these facts, you start risking much lower. And 1%, I think it's not low. 1% is perfectly fine. And I risk 1% on all the good trades, bad trades, every single thing. 1% on NQ, whatever position size may come up according to my Excel, but 1% is the constant.
So, I've noticed your consistency is very effective. Like, and you're able to pass the five minimum trading days. Most people thinking five minimum trading days is too much for them to handle. What are your thoughts on having the consistency rule and the 5 minute trading days, in your opinion?
I think there has to be a thin line between a trader and a gambler, right? Now, my strong opinions towards consistency is it's a good thing, because you're really filtering out the traders who make it in one shot and try to loot the firm, with traders who really want to make consistent payouts. And five minimum trading days with 0.25%, it's not really a Goliath's job, right? You can get it done if you're a good trader. If you have a setup, then why worry? No matter what the consistency is. I made it to the payout with 26% consistency, right? You guys gave me 45, I made it with 26, right? So I never really thought about consistency. I really thought about, okay, let's get the job done. If there is a certain amount of skill required from me, let's present it and get paid. So my honest view about consistency is every firm should have, right? Because you don't want two or three traders coming out hitting two three long home runs in gold, or Bitcoin and making 50 grand on 100K. And because at this point, as I said, you understand the firm's dynamics as well. You understand the industry dynamics as well. So consistency is good for everyone, for the firm, for the trader. Everyone is good. Everyone gets paid. That's fine.
That's amazing. So, how's your experience with funded trader markets, and what do you think of us, and what do you think makes us different to the rest?
I think what makes you guys really different is the fact that the payout processing time. Whenever a person buys an account, he's not buying it for spreads. He's not buying it for MP5 or match rate. He's not buying for any of that. That's all side. If he gets it, it's good, right? He's paying you guys to get paid. If you don't pay, then no matter you give him MT5 or you give him a terminal on which Euro traders trade, doesn't matter, right? So if you have a payout processing time of 3-4 hours, you hit the bank as soon as the withdrawal is made, as fast as 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometime I've seen that pushes the trader again to buy an account, right? Because he knows he will get paid, right? So I think that is one of the standout things in FTM, that you get paid very quickly, and it's 100% split, obviously, on the speed account. So there are these small things that make a lot of difference. Payout speed, and to be honest, going on to the side parts like spreads and MT5 and all those things, it's all very good, right? So smooth journey, good dashboard, good support, good payouts. I think everything is checked, everything is tick marked. So that's what I like.
I was going to ask you all these questions, but you gave all the answers before me answering the questions. But it's okay.
Yeah, I kind of knew what you wanted to ask, so I just answered it all.
Yeah. So, what were the key lessons you learned during your journey to this payout? Was there a mistake that turned into a valuable learning experience?
Yes. So basically, after I got this payout, I again made $700, and I was on the fifth day. I had to make 0.25%, and I would have got my payout. But I overtraded, and I got into a loss. Currently, I'm in a drawdown, right? But if I would have delayed it maybe a day, or let's say maybe I would have settled back and thought, okay, it's a losing day, I can make it all back again. I would have got $700, $800. I would have got another payout, right? So I think what is one thing that you always learn when you trade funded accounts is how to kill desperation, right? Desperation can get in your way, and desperation is a real party. It spoils the party. So desperation is a very, very huge lesson that I've learned, that you can't get desperate to make money. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. You can't really get desperate.
That's awesome. It's a good response there. So, before we end the show, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience? Perhaps a final piece of encouragement for other traders aiming for their own success when times are tough?
Anybody who's trying to get paid or who's trying funded accounts, don't shy away from spending money on accounts. Follow the process, and rest everything will be taken care of. Think of yourself as an athlete. You're not a guy who's sitting in Asia, Europe, or London, or in a small room and trying to trade. No, you're actually competing against the people who have the big pockets. Think of yourself as an athlete. Treat yourself as an athlete, right? Just like a CEO treats himself like a business owner, that he has to run an
Yes.
organization. You have to treat yourself like a top athlete and follow the process. Don't run behind progress, and never shy away from spending money on funded accounts, because it's the ratio of how much you pay and how much you get paid is so high, right? The risk reward is so good that even if you blow 10 accounts, on the 11th account, you can make it all back, right? So don't shy away from that trap, and be open with investing in firms, and follow the process, and sooner or later you will make more money than you can ever fathom.
So, how can people reach you if they have any questions or concerns asking about your journey?
So I have a Twitter handle which is StoicTrader08, and I have a YouTube channel, Strike Trader. So you can search it up there, and you can drop, if at all, any queries you have to learn from my little experience, and I'll be very happy to help.
All right, we'll put it down below. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Trevor.